One, two, three, audio testing. One, two, three, audio testing. Today is April 15th, 2023. As you can see on your screen today, students have to present a topic. They have to be active throughout this class, meaning that the teacher is only going to monitor and then give a feedback on private Google Doc. The feedback that the teacher is going to concentrate on more than grammatical or phonetical aspects. The teacher is encouraging students to, one, become more confident when it comes to speaking, especially not a free topic, but a topic in which they ought to find information on the internet, read certain articles, and then paraphrase, explain, and give their opinion to the teacher about that specific topic. That way, the students learn, they practice their speaking skill, and the teacher always learn about specific topics, and both will eventually overcome the common mistakes in order not to let them become fossilizations. So for this moment, Jose Levan has been missing since last week. I will explain or talk about this with my coordinator. Other than that, now I am going to play Lourdes Pino's first presentation, which was a free topic. And then I guess she's going to send me today's pre-recorded audio, or she's going live.
Hi teacher, good evening. Today I think I am going to speak about my family because I think that it's the best topic I could speak of. So I'm going to introduce my family to you. Okay. I have a little brother. He is 13 years old. He just was his birthday, the 1st of April. So he's a teenager officially now. My mom and my little brother live in Cochabamba, Bolivia, in another city. I live in Tarija, that it's another city. My mom is 4 years old. She is engineer, system engineer. She is really good at work, I think. But she isn't actually. She actually isn't working right now. I think that it's because she's not so loving of the job. It's so funny because when she started to work, she loves the work, but after some time, she started to boring about it. So it's really funny. My brother obviously is still at school. I think that he's very a smart kid. Um, and I live here in Tarija with my grandfather. Um, he doesn't work anymore, and he is so involved in politic things. Um, I think that he is so patriotic in that way, and I really admire that so much. But I really um, I would prefer that uh, he isn't so involved in that topic. Um, um, my grandma lives here too. My grandparents are divorced. They are separate. Also, they uh, don't live together. But I visit my grandma so often. Um, she isn't working too, neither. Um, she was a counter like my grandfather too, and she really cooks very good. Very well. I really love his she her foods. Um, she always wants that wants teach me her recipes, but I think that I don't really I am I am not really good at cooking. Maybe a little. My mom said that I I am good at cooking, maybe with beef or something like that, because she said that I have a good taste in that. But I think that that's not true. Um, I think that I am good in other things, and I don't really uh, like cookie the cooking in that way. Um, my mom is married with a guy that it's not my father, it's my stepfather. But he is the my brother's father, biological father. So my mother, her husband, my brother lives in Cochabamba, and I live in Tarija with my grandfather, and always visit my grandmother uh, in the weekends. Um, I have two uncles too. They are my mom's brothers. One is the big brother, and the other is the little brother. Uh, I I don't call them uncles because I don't know. They say that my first word to them, to the big brother, was his name. Actually, they say that my first word to him was Ado, because his name is Aldo. And so, since I have memory, I always call him Aldo. And then there is my other uncle that is my mom's little brother. that I call him Amor, because they say too that the first word that I told him was amor in Spanish. So it's so complicated when I have my when I had my past boyfriend because I had to have a previous explanation that the reason that I have a contact like Amor in my cell phone. It was so funny when I was a teenager, when I was younger. But now it's very, very, very normal. My uncle practically uh, obliges me, force me in a good way, in a good way to call like that, because he says that he is my my amor, and I have to introduce him to my friends and everyone like that. I really, really, really love them because uh, they they were like my fathers for me. So I think that's all of my family. I don't know if I did good in this presentation choosing this topic because I think that I just talk and talk about myself and my family, but it's my best uh, intention. So if it wasn't right, please tell me. I will pleased to listen if this topic was right or not. So thank you, teacher. Have a good night, and bye.
Okay, welcome, my dear Lourdes. How are you today?
Hi, teacher. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am doing great. And well, as you can see, I just play your first recording, okay? And I made some notes, but you are going live today, correct?
Yes.
Good. So let's begin with your third presentation. That way, when Shari logs in, we would be free. What's your topic about so I can search a video or an image?
Today I'm going to talk about influencers. I
Okay.
really love these topics about marketing, so I want to do this first presentation about that.
Okay. Can you repeat the name?
What is an influencer?
Good. Here in Mexico, for the moment, the main influencer, YouTuber is Luisito Comunica. Tell me a Bolivian influencer that is basically on his prime in Bolivia. Is it a male? Is it a female?
I think that it's a present a TV presentator
Yes.
that her name is Annabelle Angus. I think that she is the most influence in my country.
Okay.
I think that she is not so famous in out of Bolivia, but here is so famous.
All right. Okay, so I am searching some influencers' presentations. I am trying to pick one that will suit your presentation. So 1 second, I got it. Go ahead with your introduction, development, and conclusion.
Okay. In first place, I think that the influencers are very important for a business, for a company, because this kind of people could you help could you help you to have more clients, potential clients, customers. So I think that it's very important for the companies. An influencer is a person that have a very influence in some audience. These influencers have a determinate audience, and if your company have has that the same audience, it's a very good strategy to a very good marketing strategy. So these influencers could help you recommending your product or your service, and uh, and the their audience has so much trust of them. So it's very probably that their audience could buy your product or your service just because that influencer recommended, or because that influencer use that product or that service. So I think that it's a very good strategy. But I think that companies has to have to make uh, a very researching about the influencers that they will hire, because it's not about the number, the followers. It's more about the engagement that this influencer could have, or even more what kind of audience they have. So I think that, for example, if a cosmetic company wants to use an influencer, they will not use maybe Luisito Comunica, because he is not their audience is not the people that are interested in this kind of things. Maybe this company could hire, I don't know, maybe you, yeah, or that kind of influencers. I think that here in Bolivia, it's so common that the companies hire influencers that have many followers, but they don't really have the an important engagement, or they are not in the segment, or they don't have the audience that could be buy your product or your service. So I think that these kind of things, it's very important to prevent in the moment that you are choosing a person that will represent your brand. So I think that that's all.
Okay, so I agree with you. I believe that companies should make a better or thorough research on the influencer or the product that they are going to hire to advertise certain how can we say it so that they can advertise the product. So yes, that's very, very important because sometimes if the influencer gives a negative image, then his image, since he is also representing the corporation's product, then people who follow these influencers will tend to tie to connect the negative image with the corporation's product. So it is really important to have everything under control. And sometimes it's not about how many followers the influencer has, but what type of fans, followers they have. So that way, the company can have a better image towards what target they are going to produce their specific product. You mentioned about makeup, so Luisito Comunica would not fit makeup. Perhaps I don't know if you know or heard of the Mexican YouTuber Juja.
Yes.
Yes, so it is a big, big business, and influencers are learning how to work with these corporations since this is a new era. This is something that the YouTube community um, gave birth to. So it's a really interesting topic. But other than that, well, I appreciate you taking your time to present your presentation to your topic live. I made some notes here, some corrections that maybe they can come in handy in the future. For example, you mentioned the phrase very influencer, or the other one was very research. So maybe we can change very for other adjectives. For example, influencers have a strong a strong influence on their fans or followers. So strong influence is better than very influence. Um, and the other one, well, I also gave you an example. Okay, so the company should make a better research. Okay, or if you do not want to use better, you can use thorough. Thorough is basically the same as completa or más amplia. Next, we have, you mentioned probably, but you wanted the other word, which is probable, que es probable, okay? And well, um, I will also take advantage of the minutes that we have left to let you know some common mistakes that you also made on your first presentation. But the main idea of these presentations is to have you gain confidence and to take the notes or the mistakes that I notice, to take them into account. That way you won't commit the same uh, the same mistake, because as I have explained, if you continue to make those mistakes, the same mistakes over and over, they will eventually become a fossilization. So going to your first presentation and part of the third presentation, I have noticed that sometimes you tend to forget, for example, when you talk about a company, the company has or the company have, okay? But you commit the error once, and in the following sentence, you autocorrect yourself. So what does that mean? It means that you are a competent student in which you know you made an error and you were able to autocorrect yourself. So that's very important. That's very good too. Here, when you mention about your brother's birthday, it is better to say it as follows. My brother's birthday is on April 1st. I believe you mentioned my brother's birthday is on 1st of April. Okay, so I'll recommend you this one. Here, let me see. You started off by saying on your first presentation, I'm gonna speak. Okay, what about I'm going to speak, okay? Or I would like to speak, okay? But I'm gonna speak, that's correct. If you're gonna stay with gonna throughout your presentation. Do not mention going to. That way, you would not play with the hearer's mind, okay? And here I have the same common mistake about verbs with s. Okay, so you have to identify the subject. I believe you said they lives. Okay, but I know that you know that the correct one would be they live. So it's just little marks that I think it's important to emphasize them. That way you would take your time and try to correct yourself before that. Okay, so I have also detected that you have a tendency to omit the subject. For example, you said always visit. Who visits whom? So you in English, it's obligatory to always state who makes the verb, who commits the action. Okay, so I always visit or they always visit. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Yes, but I mean, they are not big mistakes, but I believe they can make you a better or a more fluent speaker. Last one would be your brother forcing you or obligates you. So you were correct. The only thing is that you can also use um, he forces me or he obligates me. That's the correct form, the correct way. Okay. Then at the end, you mentioned my two fathers. I understand this because you were talking about your uncle, correct? Two male
Yes.
figures. So that's applicable, okay, applicable. But that would be basically it. So I appreciate your presentations, and today we learn about influencers. Okay, good. For your next presentation, have you thought about how the methodology of how to do it is going? Is it going? Are you going to continue doing it live or pre-recorded on your next presentation?
I think that I prefer doing live, teacher.
Perfect. Okay. Now, if you could send me a video related to your topic, that way we won't lose precious time. As you've seen, it doesn't take a lot of time, but perhaps I could have chosen a better video. But I think this video was correct. I mean, we are watching some explanation about influencers and corporations, and image is the what's important here. Well, my dear Lourdes, do you have a question or suggestions for our presentations day?
No, teacher, everything it's fine.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time. I hope you continue having a great night. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, teacher, I would like ask you for permission for the next 2 weeks. I actually already talked with Melissa.
Yes.
The last month, because the postgrade, I have to to take class 2 weeks, and actually uh, I could pass class 1 hour
Yes.
since the beginning until 1 hour, and then I have to my other class for the postgrade.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you if I can do that for the next 2 weeks.
Of course, I mean, we are always looking for a solution and to cope with any type of obstacles or demands situation. So yes, we can come to a conclusion. All I will ask from you is to answer the encuesta, which I will launch um, maybe 5 minutes before you go. I think that's going to be a good timing. And well, the methodology is going to be the same. I'm going to explain, we are going to work, and I will share each day's activities. So as long as you work on your Pearson and then on your presentation days, I have no problem with that.
Yes, teacher. Actually, the presentation days I will be on live
Yes,
because my class of postgrade is just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
perfect.
So Thursday and Tuesday, I can be live.
Right, and we can also take advantage to also make questions about things or activities that you didn't get a chance to understand. So feel confident about our working methodology. So do not be afraid to ever ask about something that you didn't understand. Okay, that's my job.
Okay, teacher.
So I appreciate you telling me about this situation.
Okay, teacher. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lourdes. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, so Sharai will send me her pre-recorded evidence. So that's, well, not only her, but also Melissa. And well, that's our evidence for today's class. I will play their presentations next Tuesday, okay? Once I have them, I can play them either 5 or 7 minutes before their actual presentation. So that's how we are working with option B. For the moment, that should be all for today. My two last students are going to send me pre-recorded audios about their topic. So that's our evidence. They mention it to me, so the teacher and the student now have a tendency of how to work during conversation days. Okay, so I have received Melissa's presentation, her first presentation, which is about a free topic. So let's listen to her first pre-recorded free topic presentation.
Well, hello, my name is Melissa. class. This one is a free topic one, so I choose a topic that I really like and I really feel passionate about, which is pop music or music in general. Um, and the reason why I picked this topic is because even though I'm not a musician or I don't know how to play an instrument, I really like music. I think uh, it's the biggest hobby in my life. I listen to music all the time. I'm really passionate about it. I'm really methodic about it in terms to what I listen, to know all the facts, to try to research artists or albums from certain decades, certain genres, and I think that it's a really big thing in my life. But I choose pop music because in the first place, is my favorite genre, and I think it's really complicated to understand sometimes. Why is this? Because if you think about music, there's a lot of genres: rock, gospel, jazz, electronic music. Then we have, I don't know, some Latin uh, ones like salsa, merengue, bachata. We have reggaeton, we have country, we have, I don't know, metal, a lot of genres. But I think that one that still has a pretty bad stereotype is pop music, because some people only say, and you can look up to that, they say that pop music is shallow, that it doesn't have substance, that it's only made for the mainstream scene, for a lot of people, that sometimes the lyrics are lacking of meaning, that all the pop songs sound the same, that the pop idols are sometimes even dumb. If you look some news, some articles, even if you ask mm, some experts in the industry, they always look down at pop music. And in the second image, where is the evolution of pop music, I was trying to search some artists that really make a difference in different decades, in different uh, years of our history. For example, we have in the 17th John Lennon, and even in the 60s we had the Beatles, that a lot of people don't think about them as pop artists, but they were, and they really changed the scene for any artist after them, and they appealed to the crowd, to the masses, to the crowd, to the mainstream scene, big time, and they break records. They were everywhere, on TV, on the radio, on different countries where this type of music wasn't a big deal. And then we have, for example, Michael Jackson in the 80s with Thriller, with, I don't know, Bad, with Billie Jean, with, I don't know, even when he gathered a lot of artists to make We Are the World to help Africa in a music video singing the song. It was a huge difference, and it was pop music. And I think that we have forget as people that not every pop artist is bad, not every pop artist is dumb, or not every pop song is simple or doesn't have a big meaning and doesn't have a lot of resources that they can work to create a really good masterpiece, in my opinion. And for example, since 2010, I think that everybody has a really bad opinion sometimes about pop music, about certain artists. I can mention Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, as we can see in the last draw of the second picture. And I think that one has to listen a certain genre and try to understand it and try to see, uh, besides all the mainstream scene, besides the paparazzis, the, I don't know, the awards, the crazy fans, the crazy teenagers that follow these people. And the third image that I wanted to put in my presentation is my favorite artist. And it's, well, you can try to say more types of music that she did, but Taylor Swift, who is in the third picture, is my favorite artist, and she has like 3 or 4 records that are entirely pop music, and I think it's brilliant. About Taylor Swift, there's a lot of reasons why she's my favorite artist. Even though she makes pop music, she also has made country music, like their first 2 albums. Then she did pop music. Then she did, last year during quarantine, she released an album about, the title of the album was Folklore, and I thought it was uh, very interesting to see how she took this main idea about folklore, which is telling stories about other people, like storytelling, and it was an alternative album. It has indie vibes. It has this singer songwriter aspect, which was really appealing to the music critics. You can see all the charts, all the reviews about music magazines, music specialized blogs, or reporters, or Metacritic, which is a portal, a web page, who gathers all the reviews from the music critics. Uh, they were all stunned about the album, and I think it really set a new standard for a pop idol, uh, en, entre comillas. I don't know how to say that in English, but I think what a lot of people forget is that you can take a pop song and have a really strong lyric. The main reason why I like Taylor Swift and I like all of her records, even the pop ones, especially the pop ones, like 1989, which was a 2017 record, which is a pop record, and it was huge back in the day. It was really, really huge. It had 6 number 1 songs, I think. It has billions of views on YouTube. And the main reason why I like is because she took the sound of pop music, I don't know, synthesizers, a pop rhythm, and she put a strong lyric. And I think that's the future of pop music, with artists like Taylor Swift, Lord, even The Weeknd, Dua Lipa, who released pop albums last year with 80s vibes, which I think it's one of the most if not the greatest decade for pop music, with all these synthesizers, with all these very recognizable sound that you heard a song and you said, aha, take on me, or I don't know, Whitney Houston, I want to dance with somebody, and something like that. And lastly, I wanted to say that I think that we shouldn't put down pop music. We should listen to it and try to search artists who have deep lyrics and who can tell a story behind a sound that can gather a lot of people at a festival, at a concert, or at a work show. And that's it. That's my first presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that was Melissa's first free topic presentation. As you were able to listen to her voice and how she was expressing in an enthusiastic manner, which is very, very important. That's also one of our goals, to speak as if we were speaking lively in a real live situation. So I was able to also feel her eager to persuade or to let the hearer know how much she loves pop music. And so that was really, really notable. Other than that, she started by using I choose, I chose, okay? So she then changed that word or verb. She changed that word or verb for pick. So when she used that verb, I really this really, I mark it as a stress word that needed to be explained, because somehow in my head, in my mind, I believe that she could have chosen the same word. I chose this, blah, 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 blah. And so I searched the difference between to choose, to pick, and even to select. So what's the difference, and on what occasions can we use them? For example, I'm going to start by stating examples. Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. That's with a verb to choose. Now to pick a card, any card. Then to select your friendship carefully. So if we go to the specific meaning of how to use it in context, in different situations, then we can conclude that the difference between choosing and picking would be, for example, choose. Implica una elección entre varias opciones o posibilidades tras meditarla previamente o aplicando nuestro interés o conveniencia. To pick implica una elección entre varias opciones que se realiza de forma espontánea o sin estudiar determinadamente las distintas alternativas. So it's basically the difference between the two future tense, when to use going to and will. I'll answer the phone. It's a decision you made right away. When you use I am going to, it's when something is planned. Now, last one, to select, implica una elección entre varias opciones semejantes en la cual generalmente aplicamos un método o criterio previo. Okay, so those are or the three verbs that I wanted to emphasize. That way we can feel comfortable in our future presentations. And well, we now have that knowledge. Other than that, congratulations, Melissa. You are using high level vocabulary, such as I heard this adjective, swallow, okay? And well, as I mentioned, your fluency makes you a better speaker, and your enthusiasm really is notable. So congratulations, and well, I have nothing else to add because you started with an introduction, you introduce your topic, then you develop it, and after that, you let the hearer know, in this case the teacher, you let him know that you were about to conclude, but you didn't conclude it in a rude manner. You backed up your development, your facts. Okay, so that's really important when it comes to present, inform, or persuade somebody. Thank you very much. And well, that should be all for today. Shara will send me her pre-recorded presentation in the minutes to come, but the class is basically finished, so I will play her and Melissa's next week. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.